All right, Hangout is live. Awesome. And just FYI, on time tonight, right at 9 o'clock. Okay, hey everyone, and welcome to Hooping Live. My name is Audrey. I am the host of this show that is all about hula hooping and all of its glory. If you're not a hula hooper, fear not. We will be showing you a little, oh my gosh, why is it gone now? A little example of what hula hooping is, a little demo shortly, and you can get a little glimpse of it. If you are a hula hooper and someone who's seen the show before, then get your comments and questions ready if you want to have them read live on the show. We can help you with anything you're working on in your own personal practice, answer your questions, or just get something out there into the world that you've just been thinking about lately. So if you want to do that, though, because Google Hangouts have decided to make commenting so very difficult, we're going to be putting all of our comments on the Facebook post. So if you go to Hooping Live on Facebook, you can find the most recent post that has a link to this specific show. Put your comment down there, and we will read them out live tonight on the show. Help you with what you want to be helped with and all that good stuff. Last week, we were pretty much reading comments throughout the whole entire show, which was great because I think people are finally getting the hang of, you know, the comment problem. But anyway, I am Becca's going to be on the show tonight. Becca is our helper outer, and she's not here right now, but she'll be popping in and out a little bit tonight. And I'm also accompanied with the lovely Bryant, and very talented guy, and I'll let him tell you a little bit about himself, and he can do a demo. So go for it.
Okay, so as Audrey said earlier, my name is Bryant, and I've been hooping for about 1.5 years, and I practically started my hoop path in Thailand, and I was primarily a cyber hooper, and I learned how to hoop through Hooping Live because it was kind of like my own hooping jam circle where I learned how to hoop dance. And so, yeah, I'm going to do a demo and get started.
Whenever I watch Bryant hoop, I like move with him. I don't know what just happened, but Bryant froze on my end, so hopefully that was not me just cutting off his demo, but he's frozen for me. Hopefully everything's looking okay, though, tonight. I feel like sometimes Google Hangouts is still trying to get its flow together, which maybe if we all send like some positive vibes their way, they'll be able to make this show or Google Hangouts really awesome, so this show can be even awesomer. But Bryant, you kind of froze on me there for a second, but awesome demo. If you see anything that Bryant or I do in the demo that you want to learn and you want to describe it to the best of your abilities, then feel free to do it. We can teach you. Well, I'm making sure that I'm not muting myself, because if you guys have been watching the past 2 shows, I've been making some silent films, apparently. So, yes, like I said, put your comments on the Facebook page for Hooping Live, and we will answer your comments there live. I'll go ahead and do a demo real quick, and then we'll get into more of the juicy stuff. All right, and I promise you, and if my dad's watching, he's going to be so mad that my tree is not down. I will take my Christmas tree down when my heart is ready. I love my tree, so shh. Everything is slow. Okay, I was afraid of that. Well, hopefully it's not too slow on y'all's end. All right, let's see. Maybe it could be lighting. Sometimes cameras don't. Chakra, you know, you're just not helping me. I know you're trying to, but you're not helping. Thank you. All right. Can you move? I don't want to kick you. Thank you. All right. Okay. I think it's something with Google Hangout. They're not. Okay. Cool. Maybe it was the lighting that was screwing things up. All right. So, that wore me out. Anyway, let's see. I'm gonna check out some comments, see if we have anything going yet. Let's see. We have reached a lot of people. So, gosh, Bryant, what have you been doing in this past week with your hooping?
So I guess in the past 2 weeks, no, last week, I've been trying to try out for a talent show, and I guess I've been practicing for that talent show lately. And yeah, I'm actually trying out for 2 talent shows. One for my mom, she teaches like Vietnamese at this church thing, so I'm doing a dance for that. And one for my school, my high school, and yeah, I'm kind of practicing, and like I'm kind of choreographing some of the dance, like like moves for moves, kind of. It's kind of like how I normally do like dances for like performances. I somehow like choreograph part of it, like I'm gonna have to hoop in vertical position, or like I'll be fast at one point, or I'll be like slow at this point. It's kind of like that, but not like hardcore choreographing like beat by beat. It's more like tempo.
Yeah, I know what you mean with that actually, and I'm glad that you brought that up because I've been doing a lot of stuff with that kind of choreographing, and like you and I have talked about that a lot, the difference between choreography that you see with a lot of professional dancing and versus what we're doing with hula hooping, because choreographing had a kind of a bad name with hula hoopers for a while, like, oh, if you choreograph, then you're not really in flow, or if you choreograph, then you're not really, letting yourself explore hooping. And I understood what that meant at the time, and I agreed with it for a while until I started kind of doing my own terms of what choreographing was to me, which is kind of what Bryant and I just talked about a little bit, was just kind of more, matching moves to beats and kind of letting that be a part of flow. Because so many things can be a part of flow. Flow doesn't have to just be all of a sudden, you getting, or, a hooper getting really into things and just understanding it and being really good at tricks. Flow is something that is really within, and I don't want to get on the topic of flow. I feel like flow in the hooping world is like talking about religion and politics, so I don't want to do it too much. But to keep it like even, flow is what you want it to be for your personal practice. And for my personal practice, I have, kind of like Bryant was talking about, I've started really thinking about, I've been watching a lot of hip-hop videos and seeing how people choreograph things and really liking different kinds of moves. So I don't know why this is explaining things, but apparently these motions do. But I don't know. That's kind of what I've been doing lately. So that's awesome that you're going to do some I can never say that word. Choreographing. I don't know. let's see here. Okay, guys, so like I said, on the Facebook page, Hooping Live, facebook.com/hoopinglive, you can put your comments there live, and we'll read them now. I know it's a little difficult because you can't post them down below anymore, but you guys can post them there, and it'll all be good. But recently, you know, I've been talking a lot about hooping and like not getting, like kind of having like a busy life and not having a lot of time for hooping. And I know, Bryant, a lot of our viewers are in school and doing stuff like that. How do you balance school and hooping?
Well, I normally kind of have to like section out my time and whatnot because sometimes I have a full day of homework and whatnot. So I don't need to like, I always tell myself I don't have to hoop every day and like I don't stress out on that. So I try to hoop whenever I can really. And normally it's like an hour before I go to bed or an hour before I shower and whatnot. But yeah, sometimes I just need to, do as much as I can and not need to worry about like a strict schedule. Hoop an hour a day, an hour, an hour, an hour. It's not like it's sometimes it can be kind of like basketball practice or swim practice or whatnot, but sometimes it can just be like whenever suits them both. Like in college where you have like your classes at one time, kind of like that. But yeah.
Absolutely. And I like that you say that because what grade are you in again? You're
10th grade.
in 10th grade. Okay, so I've graduated college. I did all that good stuff, and so he's in 10th grade, and and Becca is a mom, and so we all kind of have our own things going on in life, and I've talked about this before, how a lot of people, I think, assume that being a great hooper means you have to have 2 hours of hooping a day. I mean, Baxter has said that putting in 2 hours of, God, what does he call it? I don't know why I can't remember it. It's not flow time, air time, flight time. I think it's flight time, and I can't personally do that every day. I would love to, but I can't. So that's why, and I've talked about this on a lot of the shows, I do a lot of mental hooping, and I also have a hoop journal, and it kind of helps with those days that you can't maybe hoop or you're doing a long drive, and all you can do is listen to music, but you can't hoop. So I like to think about things in my head, and I'll kind of like almost make up dances to music in my head and think of it for a video, or explore different music, because there's so many more aspects to hooping than the physical act of hooping, which is a beautiful thing. There's just so many things that can be added to it: the spiritual part, the physical part, the the mental healing part of it, and then also the exploration of music and movement and taking care of your body to the best of your ability. And someone told me something today that really stood out to me, because I was kind of down and out, like, why can't I be that girl? And I know that sometimes I pressure myself, and I'll be like, why can't I be that perfect girl I see on, the internet that's always drinking her green smoothie and is like, just got done with yoga and going to do X, Y, and Z, and then I'm here, playing video games, and and I don't play video games all the time, but I sometimes wonder if I'm not, being good to myself, and I'll kind of get down on myself about it. But someone told me something today that, and I've known this, but there's a difference between knowing something and like really knowing something. And they said to me that it's fixable. And she told me everything is fixable. And that kind of made me mad at first. I'm like, well, it doesn't seem fixable, like, my sadness or my whatever problem is happening doesn't seem fixable at the moment. But as I kind of thought about it, she said that the human body is meant to kind of heal itself and be perfect in its own way, which, true or not, I liked that saying, because it made me feel better knowing that whatever I was dealing with was going to, come full circle, and what I put out, what I teach, will come back to me. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but whatever. I don't want to like get too serious with my rants, because I know a lot of you come here to have like a nice little positive experience with hooping, so I want to keep it that way. But I know a lot of people have come to me saying that they're dealing with the fact that, oh, I can't hoop this much every day, and how do you do it? And I just like to tell people that I don't do it. What is bump? I don't know. Becca commented bump. I don't know what that means. Was that you, Becca? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I mean, Bryant, I wanted to kind of talk about that though with choreography and things, because I want people to understand that. Is that so I can follow? Oh, that makes sense. Like when you're trying to choreograph something, do you like kind of what I talk about, like, oh, and he's gone, never mind. I was gonna say, like, ask him if he also kind of did the choreographing the sounds, but I'll go over it with you guys and kind of show you. So a lot of the stuff I've displayed this before, but I kind of want to just show you guys again. I've been thinking a lot about like movements that I see on a lot of hip hop videos and trying to really add those into my movement and make a lot of like shapes, thinking about shape, thinking about levels, because a lot of hoopers I've noticed kind of stay right in here. Just kind of in this area. They don't really move from this. I mean, you can leg hooping, whatever, bringing the hoop up is great, but actually physically bringing your body down, even if it's just like a little dip, it really just helps like moving planes. And then the other thing is moving your feet, or moving feet, because I can stand here and just kind of go in a circle and like still move my body in like kind of a dancing way, which is good to learn to actually make yourself look like you're really able to move in one spot, especially during performances. But if there's space and you're able to, as a hooper, explore, really try to explore the space that you're in and move your feet. That's kind of like what Baxter does, is he's always kind of just like moving his feet. But the thing is, like, and I know it can be hard. Like I'm still not that good of it, because I felt kind of awkward. I'm like, how am I supposed to move my feet? Like, am I just supposed to like walk around? And Baxter's doing like these cool like slides and stuff. So like I figured out what felt good for me, which is kind of doing like these point touches with my toes and my heel. And so when I hoop now, I don't know, just movement, I guess, is something that's really can amp up hooping. But Bryant, what I was talking about was, how do you kind of think about movement in your head, or do you? Because when I first started hooping, I would watch videos, and I would copy these movements to the same songs that these hoopers did. I would do that, and I feel like it's an evolution. But how did you kind of move to that? Oh, hold on, I think I have to show. There we go.
Okay, so yeah, I kind of did that thing too with the yeah, I copied most of your videos, and I just try to emulate it. As like I first try to emulate what you're doing exactly, but then as I got better, I don't know, do more cool things with it. Kind of like when you jumped in your hoop like this, I just kind of like copy that as much as I can, and then sooner or later I start, you know, making it mine. And I guess I just try to kind of, I don't know, when I mental hoop, I kind of think of the song and kind of like try to choreograph it and whatnot, and like I guess I kind of think of movement when I dance. So like I kind of think of like, I don't know, doing like graceful moves and just like flowing around and pretending I'm like, I try to pretend like I'm in a show and whatnot. I'm like, oh, watch me dance and watch me be all graceful and whatnot.
I love that. It's like if you're pretending like it wasn't there.
Sooner or later, it kind of falls into my flow and I make it mine, and I just move and just basically kind of pretend to be like a model or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea though. And then also like thinking about if you just take the hoop away, like
Mm-hmm.
kind of like what you're saying about the model thing. If you're hooping and you like were to just take the hoop away, what would your body look like? And would it be looking like graceful and almost like model poses, kind of like what you had said? And thinking about that stuff, just being kind of body conscious, because what I realized when I was first starting to hoop, I would kind of do these very odd motions that I thought were the right thing to do. I would be like, instead of going like this. And I thought that they were just kind of these sterile motions, and I didn't explore my space that I had. And when you take like a Baxter's workshop, he makes you like really expand and explore your space, because I talked about this last week a little bit. A lot of hoopers look down. I do it too still. Will look down when they hoop, and he'll always go up, 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 and he wants you guys to like look up and expand upward instead of always looking down, because when you look up, I guess it just pulls you a little bit more into a movement. But I don't know, it's just kind of something to think about, because we can, and when you're learning a trick, I don't want you to think that like all the time you have to be like this. Like if I'm learning a trick, like a new trick, I go straight learning style where my mouth is like hanging open and I have like that weird hooper face where you're like, and you know what I mean? It's just like when like children learn to crawl, they make these weird faces because they're learning a new movement. And it's kind of like that. I make my weird faces and I screw up and I drop the hoop, and I love it because it's all part of the process and it's perfect. So allow yourself, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So it looks like we have a comment from, my mom said hello. So hello to all of the viewers from my mother. Natalie Leishizin says, I wasn't going to comment this week since I felt like I comment a lot, but since there aren't any, I'll ask my question. I got down the toss you explained last week and have got down the backwards weave. So Bryant, can you teach me the universal weave that you do? I've liked those 3 moves string together nicely. Thanks for all your help, guys. Never feel like you're commenting too much. If we can't get to your comments during the show, we'll try to reply to them afterwards, because we can always try to keep the conversations going on the episode. But that's awesome that you got them down, and I love that you said stringing the moves together, because that's something I always like to say about learning new moves, is that understanding X, Y, and Z really helps make the equation of the move that you're trying to learn. But Bryant, did you want to teach her the universal weave?
All right, I will. Okay, so the universal weave is basically the reversal weave, or backwards weave, reverse weave, and you're kind of adding a twist to it. So, like I said earlier, when you do a reversal weave, so when you go on this side of your plane, you want to turn the same way. And I'll show you from sideways. You turn. At this point, you have the awkward stage right here. And at this point, you just kind of want to embrace the awkwardness and just go with it and do kind of like that. A weird, awkward kind of reverse right here. So when you do the reversal weave, turn, do the awkward moment. And at this point, I think this move kind of has a lot to do with like spinning. So you kind of want to spin the whole time. You don't want to stop moving at one point unless you're stopping to do a isolation. I'll explain that later. But you go here and here. When you do the awkward stage, keep on spinning, because you have to spin until you get back to point A. It's like a circle. Go around and then around and then back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, and also stringing moves together. So the cool thing about the reversal weave is that the universal weave is that you can mend the move together, mend the move. You can sew the movements together with an isolation, kind of, because as you see when you're doing the move, right? Or at this point right here, your hand gets into this position, and you can just do like a little isolation barrel roll and do an isolation. So if I were to do it like this, I can kind of stop it and do isolation and continue. And so when I do the throw, the Audrey toss, I'm gonna call it that. When I do it to transfer the moves together, is you just have to kind of like know where the hoop is gonna fall in a sense. And when you see the hoop go like to the side of you, you can just catch it at this point and just kind of go along with the flow, because you catch the hoop in the awkward part of the universal weave. So when you catch it, you're right in the awkward part where you do the thing, where you do the universal weave, and it's really pretty. And also, I guess you want to try to practice mending the iso barrel rolls into the universal weaves to get the flowy part of it, or to like mend it into other moves, because isolations are also pretty good to go off of as well. So you can go into like a little barrel isolation, into a smear, and down, and up, back to waist hooping. Or you can do it like, or you can do it from a toss, and just do it from here and keep going again. There. Yeah, just a little. So key points. Basically, you can mend in the isolation barrels into the universal weave to give it like a pause, and you can catch when you throw the hoop up. You can catch it right. You can catch the hoop and continue it right from the awkward part of the universal weave. And
Awesome. Thank you, Bryant. That was great. Yeah, I mean, Bryant nailed it with that. He's really great at that move, and I love that he's so good at teaching it. And just some like physical things about it. Just remember to keep your wrist loose, because where Bryant was talking about that one point, sometimes when people are doing that move, they kind of get stuck. Just think about keeping your wrist loose. And when I do it, I don't grab the hoop. I think Bryant does that too. I hold the hoop with like my 3 fingers, and or sometimes just like these 2 fingers, and I'll just kind of let it kind of loosely flow across. I mean, it's plain. And so yeah, just like you said, do all of that, just loose wrists and kind of just dainty fingers. I don't know if that's weird to say, but dainty fingers helps. Okay, so let's see. We have a comment from Kayla Tubiola. Says, "Hey Audrey and Brian, thanks for answering my comment the last time. It really helped." Awesome. So how did you first start hooping, and who was your hooping mentor? Okay. I'm going to let Bryant start this one because I want to see the platform he uses. I want to hear what he says. So, Bryant, did you hear what I said?
Yep. Okay. So I started hooping through, well, it was really, really coincidental when I started to start hooping. It was like in 9th grade, and I was all like, it was the beginning of 9th grade, and I was like, I want to do a sport that's also an art, like something physical to keep me healthy and something artistic that I like. And so at first I thought dance, but like, nah, I don't know how to dance. So then I knew that I was like good at waist hooping when I was younger, because I remember in kindergarten I would waist hoop, and like these like I don't know 8th graders, they were like, damn, this kid's good. And I was like, pride. And after that I was like, maybe I can do something like hoop dancing. I was like wondering, is hoop dancing a thing? So I typed in hoop dancing, and I saw Audrey's top 10 hooping trick video, and I was like, this girl's good. I want to do what she's doing. I'm gonna just copy you and just do it. And that top 10 tricks video was like my, I don't know, my adventure. Like I get each move down one by one in that list of top 10 tricks. And I guess that's how I started hooping. And I watched Hooping Live. I was able to finally put my comment down on Hooping Live because I was in vacation during the time, so I can finally make the show live. And I was like, yes. And so that's how I basically started hooping, through Hooping Live. And yeah, as I said earlier, Audrey was my hoop mentor, and she still is.
Oh, all right. I'll eventually get this mute thing down. Thank you, Bryant. I love hearing that because what makes Bryant so special to Hooping Live and to me personally is because, he has been so, I just feel like I've watched him grow as a hooper because, he was kind of one of my first, it sounds weird to say, but he was kind of one of my first big fans or whatever. And it was just really, it made me feel really good to have someone that just really was inspired by the way I hooped and just kind of loved what I was doing. And because of his just being so out there and involved with my channel and with my personal hoop journey, and was, you know, really understood my way of teaching, it made him really stand out. And then I find out that he's like artistic and awesome. So he just kind of squeezed his way into Hooping Live and is now this incredible hooper that is a part of the show. So I really, you know, I love that. So thank you, Bryant. My story, I guess, kind of sounds a little bit like Bryant's in a way. I was 17. 17? I think I was 17, and I was at my friend Bailey's house, and we'd always hang out. I remember it was summer. I think it was June, and it was June. I think it was June 7th or something like that. It was the first day I ever did it. But I was like Bryant. When I was a little girl, I was really good. I could just hoop until the day was done, and I could like get up around my neck, and like I could like sit on the ground and do it around my neck. And I was that little kid that was just really good at hula hooping, and I always played with them during recess. But I loved it, but I never really knew about hoop dance. So I feel like I've always been okay at things, but I never really had something that I felt like I was really good at, that I could just really do and hold on to. And especially with dancing, because I thought I was incredibly awkward. And hooping taught me not to be so awkward, which I talk about a lot. And anyway, so I saw my friend Bailey hooping, and I, kind of like what Bryant said, I went, oh my God, like, that is incredible, and I think I can do that. So I picked up her hoop, and I did it. And I remember them saying, oh my gosh, you're picking it up so quick. And I'm like, oh, that's because I love to hula hoop. I've always loved it. And I bought my first really big hula hoop, and I just started going at it and just fell in love with it like most of us do. And the hooping community wasn't very big yet online, so it was very hard to find hoopers to hang out with, and it was very kind of a lonely little journey I started out on. I felt very alone, and that's one of the reasons why I have Hooping Live now, is to kind of help hoopers feel like they're part of a community, because community is so important with hooping. But I just started doing it, and I would film every little flow sesh that I had, and I started uploading things to my YouTube channel, and somehow people found me and liked it, and my channel grew, and I'm like, hey, I can maybe teach people, and here we are now, which is incredible. But some of my mentors in my life have been Bonnie Brown of Outward Spiral. Plug outwardspiral.com. That's who I get my hoops from. She makes great hoops. Again, it's outwardspiral.com. You can use the, I think it's still Hooping Live 2015 is a little discount code. So again, outwardspiral.com. You can find it on hoopinglive.com. But anyway, so Bonnie Brown has been probably one of the most pivotal. I consider her my hooping mama. Technically, my friend Bailey is, but Bonnie Brown was the person that really took me in as a hooper and taught and like introduced me to Baxter of Hoop Path, and Brecken and Tiana and Anna Hoopalicious, and you know Nick Zardo. All these really big name hoopers are all very, very dear friends of mine now. And I remember when I first met them, you know, I was very like starstruck. Like I felt like I was meeting someone really incredible, and now they're so dear to me. And I feel like that's such a special thing to have in my life, because I've been able to learn so much from them, kind of on the side, not like when they're doing a performance, but I've been able to really talk to them and get to know them as people and understand where they come from as teachers. So I feel like I can really put that out to you all to help teach you guys. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of my little journey story. The next comment is from Lena Magdalena. Oh, I feel like I'm butchering your name, and I am very sorry. You should have seen me in reading class. It was a problem. We'll call you Lena for now. Lena. Can you go over variations of gracefully getting your hoop up from leg hooping and then back down again? Thank you so much, guys. Yes. I can do that. Hopefully I can do it in pants. Let's see here. So, and on the note of pants, when you're learning this move, really think about, I might switch my hoops out, having a good grip. Skin really helps, like if you want to like wear shorts, it really just helps grip onto skin. And then also having maybe like that magical Velcro grip tape, which you can get from Outward Spiral, on the inside of the hoop, or gaffer's tape, and wearing a material that kind of sticks to that better, which this hoop has no tape in the center, which is why it's kind of a slippery hoop. I've got to go get that from Bonnie, so I'm going to use this one. So I'm assuming that when, oh, that's loud, when you're saying gracefully get it back up, so you don't look like you're going like this to get it back up, because that's kind of what a lot of people that learn how to hoop do for the first time. So one of the things is spinning and just thinking about little paddles with your legs and just inching the hoop up. I don't think you have to spin, but spinning really does help. But it's just kind of like you're almost kind of, let's see if I can take this down. What I do is just kind of like, I just like bump it with my knee a little bit every time it comes around. And then to get it back down gracefully, I just kind of reverse it, and right when it gets to that little crevice of the knee, I just start pushing back out. And with my hands, because I know a lot of times the hands want to do this. For me personally, what I do with my style is I just kind of keep my hands like this. This is hard to do. This is not an easy hoop. I just kind of try to keep my hands out and not do like reptar hands. But for me personally, I like to spin. I just think it gives it a little bit more of a graceful movement. That's what I do. Bryant, do you want to give any tips on that?
Okay, so I guess what I like to do to go from leg hooping to out of it is I just do the most basic way to get out of leg hooping possible is to just lift it up, and I know how to bring it down like really gracefully by doing the same technique, and I just kind of like to spin around a lot and make it kind of flow in by like doing like stalling it a little bit, like kind of stalling it and digging deeper, and then I kind of like to spin up and go down again. It's kind of like a little movement, like a rhythm. It's like starts at the bottom and then it goes up, down. Like I go up and then I bend out and I go deep down, and after that, like I go in spinning. It's kind of like going out and up, down, kind of like the really like fast-paced thing. It's like a dip, but like more like a rise. If you know what I mean, something like that.
I actually know exactly what you mean. I think that it might take more of an advanced hooper to get that, but what he's saying is true though. It's a kind of like a dip, like you're almost like dipping under the hoop to kind of push it up or push it where you want to go, I guess. So I get what you're saying, Bryant. So hopefully, if you guys have more questions on that, let us know. We'll try to help you to the best of our ability. What time is it? We're doing great on time. Okay. Becca answered this question that, who asked it? Anyway, the one about mentors and stuff. Becca said, the first inspirations for me were Katie Emmett, Jenny Garvey, and I also found your videos, Audrey, a few months after I started 2 years ago. That's crazy. That's been 2 years. I can't believe that. And Becca's also, just like Bryant, Becca was always just really prominent on my channel and commenting. And honestly, when I was starting the channel, I would see names like Becca and Bryant and Jenna and Will and stuff like that. Well, Will came later, but Jenna, Bryant, and Becca, and kind of that, like a little group of people, were always commenting and always really excited about my videos. So when, you know, the time came for me to make this channel and for me to really expand, I went to the people that were there the whole time to get their input, to get their creativity, to get their help, because they had been there for so long. And that's why the logo that we have Bryant made, and the reason why everything seems somewhat put together is like Becca, and I'm having a big work session tomorrow, so we'll figure a lot of stuff out. And I know that Baxter just got a bunch of stuff for podcasts and broadcasting, so hopefully he'll be coming on the show soon, because he told me he would, and I'm going to hold him to that, because if he doesn't, we're going to have some issues. That is a threat, Baxter. Anyway, that got a little dark. Anyway, so that's kind of how I feel. And if you guys want to be a part of the Hooping Live team, I am always excited to take people in that want to help with little things, because there's always something small or big that needs to be done on the show. So if you want to email me at info@hoopinglive.com and just kind of tell me what you think you could help out with, social media, art, returning comments, ideas, and whatever. Again, it's info@hoopinglive.com. If you go to hoopinglive.com, you can kind of find a little information thing about becoming a part of the team. So have fun, do that if you want to. Let's see. Comments from variations. Oh, that said variations. I thought that it was just getting it up. I guess, well, let's see. I know that sometimes people accidentally comment on my link on my homepage. Oh, no, Mom, my hair just has a lot of stuff in it right now. I went and got a massage today, so my hair has that weird, like, lotion in it, and I guess my mom likes it, so that's good. It smells good. It's great. I mean, my massage today was wonderful. I needed it so badly, and it was like, I don't know if you guys have ever had a massage that it's like so releasing that you cry. Because I started crying during my massage, and I'm very vocal when I get massages. I'll be like making these crazy weird noises. And most massage therapists like it though, because they know that they're doing something right. And the woman was like talking to me about stress and releasing, and I just like started crying, and I'm like, like crying, and I'm like releasing all these toxins and sweating, and it was just, my body was just like, let it out, girl. So that was great. And I feel great. I have got to drink water, though. I always forget to do that after a massage. And apparently a bunch of toxins are released when that happens, so always drink water, people. We like that idea. Let's see here. Let me go back. I know that sometimes the pages do not load very quickly. We've got to figure out this comment thing, though, because I don't like that Google took you guys away from me live. That's a little irritating, if you ask me. But anyway, oh, what was I going to say? Bryant, I wanted to ask you, though, becoming a part, kind of like putting yourself out there as a virtual hooper, because I know a lot of people kind of hide behind their computers and don't like feel comfortable coming out into the hooping world. What was your drive to want to really get out there and like start a community in places that you've been that didn't really have one?
Well, so I guess part of my drive to start my hooping path and, just getting out there, being like, yo, notice me. It's mainly, well, first, I wanted to start small. I wanted to get Audrey to notice me. Like, hey, Audrey, notice me, please. Audrey, please. I was a huge fan of the, like, I just want to be your favorite hooper and, like, favorite student. That's all I wanted. That was my first goal. And after I did it, I was like, yes, I'm a favorite. And so I guess kind of started me. And I guess I also wanted to be, like, noticed throughout the whole entire, like, online community. Like, because within, like, that's what I really wanted to do, and I guess the fact that I was somewhat unique at my school because there was no hoopers at all, I guess it's kind of like, it helps me feel like that I have a higher chance of, getting noticed than like the average singer or like the singer in a talent show or a dancer in a talent show, because my talent is unique, so to speak, because you don't see it every day, and you know what I mean? And so then that's how I feel whenever I'm doing like a talent show, like auditioning for a talent show. There's a half of me saying, please don't get picked. I don't want to perform anymore. I get like really nervous in like live performances in real life because I can't like stop the film and just cut it out and video edit it. So it's kind of like, like a little scary part. But then I was like, I know I'm gonna get picked, or like I know that I'm gonna make the talent show, or like something like that. I get like confident, but then like I always know that I'm probably the only hooper, so they're probably gonna choose me. So that's how like my confidence boost up, that I'm like unique, and I guess it kind of helps me, go forward and get out there, and to go and broadcast myself live on Hooping Live. Well, I just wanted to be on the same show with Audrey and just being noticed. That's my first goal. Like, oh yes, I can finally be noticed by Audrey and be just as good as her. And that was kind of like my main purpose of joining Hooping Live when I first started. But then now I actually feel like I can teach people. I can explain my moves, and I realized that like I'm actually not the same, or I'm actually somewhat unique. I'm not just an average Joe.
I love that you said that, because there is so much uniqueness that comes with each individual hooper. And I think when hoopers start out, personally, like I said, I would copy videos, and I would, try to kind of copy a style. And I think that's very normal for people to do when they start. And then you kind of start making a move that you copy into, a personal thing, kind of what Bryant was talking about earlier. I think that's really cute about how you just wanted to get on the show and be a part of it, and how it's grown to you realizing that you really are a very special asset to the show. And it's really cool. I think that I'm just personally, hooping has taken me, I don't know really how the whole life thing works, but I was looking at a bunch of schools, and I know wrangling worked out for me in the long run, but I don't know if I would have ever looked at it because it was in Florida, and I didn't think I wanted to move to Florida, but I was hooping, and I met some people on the beach during spring break in high school, and I was hooping, and they liked me, and I became friends with them, and then I really wanted to hang out with them more, so I thought, oh, if I move to Florida, I can hang out with these people more, and I really like them. So it was, hooping kind of brought me to meet this, this group of people, and then it moved me on to this, and now I know, Bryant and Bonnie, and have all of you guys out there, and it's just, I just feel like if I hadn't started hooping, obviously I wouldn't have any of this. So just even when the path feels like it's getting rough or it's on a plateau, and it's like, well, what do I learn now, or what am I supposed to do now? Just continue moving. Just continue exploring. And as cheesy as it sounds, that's what you have to do. And it'll come to you, and things will just happen. And for me personally, I always want things to just happen then and there. It's like, okay, it needs to happen now. I don't want to wait. And I've learned a lot of patience with hooping. Not a lot, but I have learned some. But I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel. Let's see. Becca said, did Becca say this? Is this a Becca thing? Have either of you volunteered with kids or helped kids with hooping? I'm hopefully going to do a fitness class with other homeschooling families in the spring, and going to teach hooping during it. I'm a bit nervous though. Okay. I've done a few kid things before. One thing is definitely have hoops for the kids to play with, if that's going to kind of be your thing. I think it's definitely good to have a plan. Like if you're going to go and do like a fire and an LED, have someone go with you, so you have a safety, obviously, unless you're just going to do LED, and have a strict rule that either the kids can play with an LED hoop or they can't. It's not really good to say, oh, this kid can't, but I don't trust this kid. Because if you're not people hoop, I always suggest having hoops for other people to play with. Now with kids, something that I like to do with performing is realizing kind of like what awed and oohed me when I first started. So obviously isolations, think of the simple things like vortexes And the other thing I do is it's kind of like, you know, if you're a kids performer, you're very like vibrant and out there, and you, I don't know, just kind of really thinking about what's going to make the kids excited. So sometimes I'll like go up really close to the kid, and with the hoop, we're all kind of put it around. I kind of talked about that with the chair when I was on mute 2 shows ago, but kind of put the hoop around the person, kind of getting down to their level or something like that. It depends on the kid's age, but I think you said fitness class. So fitness, I guess kid fitness is just keeping the kids moving, and thinking about, if you're going to teach them things, simple moves. Thinking about what is simple and easy, because something might feel simple to someone that's like with shoulder hooping. Sometimes I have to realize, okay, these, like, think about when you first started shoulder hooping, how it takes time to get that aha moment. So it'll be around 5 to 13-year-olds, no more than 10 kids. Okay, so that's a pretty good age for kids to kind of get things. I don't know, Brian, do you have any tips?
Yeah, so I started teaching kids when I taught a few kids how to hoop dance. Well, the only barrier there was the language barrier, because I was in India during the time. It was like my trips. I only had one hoop with me, and that was my travel hoop. And so yeah, I definitely think that you should totally have like a ton of hoops to like let the kids use, because that would really help you. And I think like simple tricks, like even the most simplest tricks will be the hardest to get, like waist hooping, because when I teach people, sorry. When I teach people how to waist hoop, it's like they never get it like waist, like any like core movement, core hooping abilities are really hard to get down, like even waist hooping, because some kids aren't like as good as waist hooping as many other people were. So I would like stick with like the really basic moves, like the weave. Like weaves are really basic. You can teach them this, or maybe the sustained spinning, where you do this really cute like little sustained spinning. And even maybe if you can be outright like courageous and try to teach them isolations and be like really patient with them, and maybe that might help, because I taught these kids how to do the sustained spinning, and it was the the weave, and I think that those are pretty much the two moves that I taught them, and it turned out well. They did it really well too. So I would also kind of do that, and also teach them some basic combos. Maybe if they're good at the weave, they can do the weave combo and just go under, out, and go back. And I guess, yeah, those are pretty much like the most simple tricks that I had luck with, and it worked really well with the kids that I taught. And yeah, so even like the basic moves like waist hooping and any core hooping will be the hardest to teach, because core hooping isn't the same as off-body work, because it requires like muscle memory and movement with muscles, and you know.
That's a good point. Thanks, Bryant. And then kind of like what Bryant was talking about the movements, also think about visuals, because, you know, they're kids and very visual, because it actually helped me with learning tricks, was actually with the isolations. How I teach people how to do isolations is pretending that it's a clock, and that, you know, if it's a clock, it's not going to go like this. The arms are going to go around like that. So you have a focal point. So thinking about a clock, making visual references to making moves, or, you know, making figure eights for a weave, or things like that, just tend to really help. So hopefully that kind of helps you guys. But it looks like we are wrapping up on the time tonight, so I'm going to let Bryant give his info, and so you guys can look him up and see more of his stuff. So Bryant, go ahead.
Okay, so you can contact me on Instagram mainly, because I normally use Instagram, and I'll soon be starting the hoopingLIVE Instagram and start, you know, doing shout-outs and contests, and you can DM the hoopingLIVE account and like send me your stuff. I can like give you shout-outs and like teach you guys on the Instagram account. And my Instagram is Dang Bryant, like Dang Bryant, you know, really slang. And you add me on Facebook at Bryant Dang if you want to, and I'll probably add you your Facebook profile picture. It's hooping and whatnot. And I'm also starting my YouTube channel. Well, it's already up, but like I'm posting more videos on that now at Bryant D. And a friend just texted me about quick question about hooping, and she asked me whether like how to start performing, like practice performing online and um, wowing audience. And what I do is that the most dangerous thing ever you should ever do. But if you're courageous and you think that you can do this, I think the best way to practice with audience and whatnot is to go on Omegle, like video chatting on Omegle, and be sure to type in like YouTube and like Tumblr and whatnot. Because I used to do that to practice like wowing audience. Like I do my moves and like I got a lot of like people like, oh, you're so good. This is so weird. Never thought this anymore. But it really helps. I mean, even though it's like dangerous, but you should like if you're like courageous and you're like you got this, you won't get hurt or anything. Because as long as you don't give any personal information at all, then you should be fine. And be sure like when they ask you what you like and whatnot, you put like friendly stuff like YouTube or like Tumblr or Instagram, like friendly stuff. I like dance, so you don't get any of the nasty people and predators. So yeah, that's another tip for performing with audiences.
That's a good idea. I like that, Brian. Thank you. Yeah, that's something that's awesome about social media is that you can practice in that kind of way. So again, our show is every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern USA time. You can find out all sorts of information at hoopinglive.com. Again, my name is Audrey, and I was accompanied by Bryant and Becca tonight on this episode. And you can go and rewatch all of the Hooping Live episodes that we've ever done if you need to rewatch them or learn something we taught. Fear not, you can watch them as many times as your heart desires. So if you want to give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We are on all the social medias, Hooping Live, easy to find. So we are going to be working on kind of getting, Bryant and Becca are going to help me get the kind of ball rolling on more of getting active in social media now that everything's kind of coming together. So until next week, guys, again, hoopinglive.com, and I will see you all next week, and happy hooping to you all. Bye.